Okay, so Act 846, I mentioned this earlier, you regulate, it's the radio spectrum policy framework, and it regulates construction, establishment, operation of radio stations, pati manufacturing, etc. RA 7925 provides the goal, actually, for why the state has to regulate radio frequency. So, radio frequency being a scarce public resource, it must be administered in the public interest, okay? Not in the interest of the industry players, but the public interest, in accordance with international agreements and conventions. Very, very tricky yung 7925 actually, because it was the vehicle by which the government actually wanted to put the private sector front and center. Siya yung magiging engine of growth of the telecoms industry. So it was actually encouraging the private sector to invest in infrastructure, invest in technology, etc. But at the same time, the NTC, ano pa to, before pa to, wala pa tayong mga competition laws before. The NTC was sort of also tasked to make sure that there is fair competition among the industry players. And thirdly, it was also mandated to make sure that the rights of consumers are protected. So tatlo yon. So balancing act yon. That's a very, very difficult task, I think, for just one agency. And at the time that the NTC was tasked with this mandate in 1995, wala pang DICT, wala pang Philippine Competition Commission. So, although may DTI na for consumer rights. So, just to bear in mind, no, the huge, kumbaga, the huge responsibility of an industry regulator, of an industry so big as telecoms and ICT. Okay, okay. So, I won't go through these. I just listed them down just so you would see what the policy framework contains. Okay, so the rules on spectrum allocation, the primary reason for spectrum regulation is to prevent harmful interference. Very technical siya, no? Harmful interference. But as I said, the technical is the most the most kumbaga petics na yan eh. 'Di ba? But it's really the balancing of the different interests. For example, the interests of the industry players themselves, who gets which spectrum, how much, and for how long. That's actually the very essence of what politics is. My background, actually, by the way, is in political science. And politics is defined as deciding which or who gets what, meaning what resources, when, how, and how much. So parang sa spectrum regulation, this is a microcosm of politics actually. So just a side note there. So the NTC already issued rules on spectrum allocation, assignment, recall, and reassignment as early as 1996. Kahit na nung hindi pa ganun kalaki yung mobile telephony. But this rule is actually very important. It is very comprehensive. And one thing that stands out here is that while spectrum is assigned administratively, so you need to apply with the NTC and then you get a reply of approval or not. Recalling spectrum from an assignee, so from an entity, actually requires service of notice and a public hearing. So this is actually what's called a quasi-judicial process. Parang ano yan, parang litigation yan, parang court proceeding yan. So it's very difficult to recall, although it's relatively easier to assign spectrum. Okay. So here is a summary of the key spectrum regulation that we have in the Philippines. So allocation is aligned with international agreements such as the ITU, which actually makes spectrum assignment the most important spectrum management function of the NTC. Assignment is an administrative process, as I just mentioned, but Bear in mind that access to spectrum can also be done through other means. For example, applying for co-use or joint use. Usually you don't see this in the rules, but in, in reality, usually when a telco acquires a smaller entity or a telco that has a spectrum assignment, instead of requesting to recall that spectrum and then get it reassigned to the entity that acquired the spectrum, usually yung ginagawa as a workaround is to apply for joint use of the spectrum. So the spectrum assignee is retained, which is the smaller entity, pero spectrum is being used by the acquiring entity or the bigger telco. O, diba? May ano tayo dyan. Mga parang Instagram versus reality yan. Okay. Spectrum user fee. So unlike in other countries where revenues from spectrum come from auctions, in the Philippines, we collect spectrum user fees or SUF annually. So it's computed differently based on the service. So medyo complicated yung computation yan. Actually there have been a lot of proposals to rationalize spectrum user fee collection. Pero syempre, pag industry player ka, ang idea mo ng rationalization, babaan yung spectrum user fee. Pero if you're the government, ang objective mo for rationalization is to actually, for the government or the state to get more revenues from spectrum. Okay, spectrum terms of license. Actually, this is, in the Philippines, this is aligned to the life of a congressional franchise. This is very unique to the Philippines kasi we are the only country in the world that requires Congress to pass a law. By the way, I forgot to tell you. A franchise is a Republic Act. So it's a law passed by Congress. So each network operator applies for a franchise. So Congress will go through the whole lawmaking process, which usually takes 2 years if you're lucky. So after getting a franchise, then you can be granted a CPCN. The CPCN from the NTC cannot have terms and conditions that are contrary to your franchise. So if you think about it in a way, radio spectrum use in the Philippines is dependent on the political process of Congress. Kasi Congress is made up of elected officials, basically politicians. So we are subjecting spectrum management, assignment, etc. to a political process. And that has its own challenges kasi the political process is very unpredictable and it's based on a lot of discretion. And if you look at public policy and public administration, those two things are dangerous to have. Okay, that's my personal opinion. But hindi lang personal yan actually. Many studies have actually pointed that out. And that's one of the things that we need to change. Okay, regional licensing. Actually, mobile access spectrum in the early 1990s were assigned on a national or regional basis. But somewhere along the way, that changed actually. National or nationwide basis na lang ngayon ng spectrum licensing, which also has its own challenges because then we don't get to maximize spectrum. Diba, remember one of the principles or reasons for managing spectrum is to maximize its use, no? Efficient use. And efficient use shouldn't just be about assigning spectrum to the biggest player with the most number of subscribers. We can actually argue, based on good governance, that efficient use can also be about making sure that unutilized public resource such as spectrum can be assigned or shared with other players in communities where there is no connectivity. So we definitely need to look into the spectrum management policy that we have so that regulation will also follow suit. Okay, bidding or open tender. This is actually provided in law, but this is not practiced in the Philippines. The the law says that whenever demand for specific frequencies exceeds availability of frequencies, then the NTC can carry out a bidding process. But we have never done this before for one reason or another. Sorry, I'm sorry if you're hearing the noise from my notes. Paper-based pa rin ako. I'm analog that way. Okay. Okay, so spectrum review. It's done periodically, but the law doesn't say the frequency. Pun intended, no frequency. Pero that's also confusing. It doesn't say how many times spectrum review is done. Co-use is allowed, but spectrum trading is not. Spectrum trading within or among industry players is not allowed. We have provisions for open and unprotected spectrum. It's defined by regulation. And recently there have been issuances on this pertaining to zero SUF or zero spectrum use. I won't get into the details, but we can discuss offline if you want. And finally, do we have, wait lang. Okay. So we don't have, I think I skipped it, no, the roadmap, the spectrum roadmap was mentioned earlier. We don't have a spectrum roadmap, which means, like, for example, in Australia, they look 5 years ahead and they plan out how spectrum will be allocated and assigned or for which services, and to encourage then investment. Actually, when you have a roadmap, the private sector, whenever they invest, they need a stable environment, they need predictability, so a spectrum roadmap would definitely help. We don't have that, unfortunately, and there is also no publicly available spectrum assignment database. I think at one point, or through an FOI, a Freedom of Information request, I think the NTC said that they need to protect the privacy of the assignees. Pero bear in mind that the Data Privacy Act, for example, deals with personal information of individuals. So, sa spectrum assignment naman, hindi naman, unless individuals yung inassignan mo niyan. So usually, in other countries na lang, let's just say, in other countries, this is actually available. And I have, colleagues from my own ICT policy network globally, and who have told me that the database for spectrum assignment in their country is actually available.